In this video, we'll graph these two rational functions. We'll start from the first one. So since not everything is fully factored, let's factor everything first. So especially the top, we can factor the top as x plus 6 times x minus 5 over the bottom x plus 6. All right, so first of all, let's find the domain. Well, for the domain, we'll look at the denominator of the original equation, right? Which is x cannot be equal to negative 6. That will be the domain. So it will be negative infinity to negative 6 union negative 6 to infinity. Okay, now let's see if f is in lowest terms. It's pretty obvious it is not in lowest terms because the numerator and the denominator has a common factor of x minus 6. So we can cancel it out. So that means our original function of f can be simplified as x minus 5 under the condition that x cannot be equal to negative 6. All right, then the graph of this function is pretty easy. Y equals x minus 5 is a line, right? It's a linear equation. So it's a linear equation with a hole at x equals negative 6. So we'll graph it. So for this line, the slope is 1 and the y-intercept is negative 5. So starting from negative 5, which is the y-intercept, and the slope is 1, so 1 over 1. Connect the 2 points. You've got your line. But don't forget, you have a hole at x equals negative 6. Say it's right here. So that means your graph will have a hole at this point. So it's a line with a hole in it. Okay, so that's for the first function. Now let's move to the graph of the second function. All right, same idea. We need to factor the top and factor the bottom. So to factor the top polynomial, let me write it down on the side. I'll factor the a and the c, right? To factor the 8, it's 2 times 4. I'll try 2 times 4 first, or 2x times 4x. To factor the 15, it's 3 times 5. I'll try it this way. This is a 10x, and this is a 12x. I want to get a 26x in the middle. It doesn't seem this combination works, so let me change the order a little bit. Let's move the 5 to top and 3 at the bottom. So 5 on top, 3 at the bottom. So cross multiply 6x, and this way is 20x. And I need 26x in the middle, and this is perfect. And so the top can be factored as, first factor is 2x plus 5. Second factor coming from the second row, 4x plus 3. Okay, that's the top. Now let's factor the bottom. Let me write it down on the side. So factor the 2, 2 times 1. Factor this 15, that's 3 times 5. Well, this is a 10, this is a 3. I need a negative 1 in the middle. It doesn't work. Let me switch the 5 and the 3. So 5 on top, 3 at the bottom. So that's a 6. 5 times 1 is 5. I need a negative 1 in the middle. That means this 6 is negative. Right, trace it back. That means 2 times negative 3 will give me negative 6. And let me check over here real quick. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Perfect. This is the right combination. So that means I can factor the bottom as first factor 2x plus 5. So 2x plus 5. Second factor is 1x minus 3. So x minus 3. Okay, so now that I'm done factoring the top and the bottom, let's find the domain first. The domain is everything but the zeros of the denominator, right? So you have to exclude the point negative 5 over 2 coming from this factor, and the other 0 coming from there. It's 3. So we have to exclude negative 5 over 2 and 3, which is negative infinity to negative 5 over 2, union negative 5 over 2 to 3, and union from 3 to infinity, because those 2 points are dividing the whole number line into 3 intervals. Right? That's why we have 3 intervals union together. Now let's see if this function is in lowest terms, and it's pretty obvious it is not, because we can cancel out a common factor of 2x plus 5. That means this function can be simplified to 4x plus 3 over x minus 3 under the condition that x is not equal to negative 5 over 2. That means there is a hole at that value, x equals negative 5 over 2. Okay, so all we have to do is graph 4x plus 3 over x minus 3 and then put a hole. All right, things are easier. So next, we want to find the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we just look at the numerator. We'll look at the simplified version of the numerator, and you will find the 0 of the numerator is making the top 0, right? You will have negative 3 over 4, that's the x-intercept. Or you can write it as negative 3 over 4 is 0, and the multiplicity of it is 1, right? Because that only appeared once. The y-intercept is you have to make x equal to 0. That means you have to find what is f of 0. I'll just plug it into the reduced version. So 4 times 0 plus 3 over 0 minus 3. That's 3 divided by negative 3. That's negative 1. So 0, negative 1 is my y-intercept. Okay, now vertical asymptote and its multiplicity. So since I'm only graphing, the reduced version, I only have to look at the reduced version for the vertical asymptote, which is x minus 3, right? That's the vertical asymptote. And multiplicity is 1, which is odd. Now, the horizontal asymptote or oblique asymptote, we'll look at the degrees of the top and the bottom. We can look at the simplified version of it. The degree on top is 1. The degree of the polynomial at the bottom is also 1. Since the 2 degrees are equal, that means we have a horizontal asymptote, which is y equals to the quotient of the leading coefficient, which is 4 over 1. That's 4. So that's our horizontal asymptote, y equals 4. Now let's find out if our graph will intersect this horizontal asymptote. So will our function f intersect y equals 4? So what do? We will put the 2 functions in one system. I will just put the simplified version of it, y equals 4x plus 3 over x minus 3, and the other one is y equals 4, and I want to solve this system. All right, as long as our solution is not x equals negative 5 over 2, we're fine. Okay. Whatever we get is wherever the 2 lines intersect. Okay, so solve the system. I'm going to replace the y in the first equation by 4, so I would get 4 equals 4x plus 3 over x minus 3. Cross multiply, I'll get 4 times x minus 3 equals 4x plus 3. Distribute on the left side. Now cancel out the 4x on both sides. You have negative 12 equals 3. This is an obvious false statement. Doesn't matter what your x is, this equation doesn't have a solution. So that means these two will not intersect. F will not intersect its vertical asymptote y equals 4. So no, they will not intersect. Okay, I think I gathered enough information here. I will start graphing. Okay, so this is my coordinate plane, x and y. And first of all, my x-intercept is -3/4, 0. So let's say 1. -1 is here. So this will be, I'll use the time color. This point will be -3/4. And the multiplicity of it is odd. All right, I have a y-intercept, which is 0, -1. Say it's right here. Okay, next, vertical asymptote x equals 3. So 1, 2, 3, right here. So x equals 3, and the multiplicity of it is 1, which is odd. Okay, next, the horizontal asymptote is y equals 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Y equals 4 is the horizontal asymptote, and our graph won't intersect the horizontal asymptote. Okay, so let's start graphing this function. So first of all, we know I have to connect these two together. After your graph passing the y-intercept, it can't go up because we only have one x-intercept, so it has to go down, all the way down. Okay, since the multiplicity of this vertical asymptote x equals 3 is odd, that means if one side is going down, the other side needs to go up. Okay, our graph won't cross the horizontal asymptote y equals 4, so it will just stay above y. But we'll get closer and closer to it as x goes to infinity. All right, go back to the x-intercept, -3/4. Since the multiplicity of it is odd, that means our graph will cross the x-axis on that x-intercept. We'll cross it. And since our graph won't intersect y equals 4, so it will just get closer and closer and stay up below it as x goes to -infinity. So this will be the graph of this function. And don't forget, we have a hole at -5/2. I almost forgot. So -5/2, which is, this is -2, right? Let's say this is -2.5, which is -5/2. We have a hole in this graph at -5/2. And this is our graph. It's kind of like 1/x, right? Transformed in some way, but with a hole in it. And I hope you find this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video.